was so bright when it burns, so dark when it's done. So hard to relate to one when I find myself tripping off that blunt. Tripping off this blunt, so I might be blunt if I do confront you. Don't run, no, don't run from the black hole.
Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what a day in the life looks like as a cybersecurity analyst based out in Toronto, working from home edition. So as you can tell from my background, this is my whole little setup apartment over here. Last week's video, I did a week in my life video, but today I wanted to make kind of more of a realistic version of what my day looks like on a normal basis. All right, guys, that's enough rambling. A day in the life as a cybersecurity analyst. Let's get the day started. To get started, this is me heading over to my computer desk. I work from home and I typically would start the day around 7:30 in the morning where I would check off emails to start my day. This is me grabbing a notepad, and what I do here is I create an agenda of all the tasks that I want to get accomplished for a day just to keep organized. So my schedule for my work today is a little bit busy. I have a meeting that I host every single day from Monday to Fridays, and then I have a team call along with a daily check-in that I have to do. I really enjoy my current role because everything that I'm learning is very related to what I learned in school. I went to school for information technology. However, I think in my early stages of my career, I was doing roles that were technically in the same category of IT, but it was, I guess, more of a generalization as opposed to getting into the nitty-gritty of things. And I think with this role itself, I find myself learning a little bit of like everything from cloud technologies to infrastructure to all the way how it's kind of interesting because oftentimes you hear things about hackers or black hats or people with bad intents of the internet, and it's kind of cool to kind of be on the other side of things, kind of see how to prevent things from occurring and what we can do to mitigate risks.
Go blame it on your issues, baby.
So every now and then I like to sit on the couch so I can take a meeting over here, for example, and it kind of just switches my brain a little bit as opposed to staying in one spot. So I joined the organization that I'm part of back in the summer of last year when I was in Calgary, and one of the fortunate parts that I was lucky to be in was that my job was fully remote. So it enabled me to not only work from Calgary, but it enabled me to also move to Toronto and be where I am right now. It's nice to be at home, but I think the importance is to always have a network, because I always thought when I was living in Calgary it's very lonely, but I find when I'm here, because when I'm able to turn off this laptop, I'm able to visit my friends that are in the same city as opposed to being in either Calgary or Vancouver where I had little to no one that I could hang out with. Just wanted to show you guys the headset that my work gave me. They asked me if I wanted headsets, and I'm not going to say no to that, obviously. Basically, I now look like the real-life Asian version of lo-fi beats that you search up on YouTube. So right now, I'm going to be washing some grapes. This is going to be what I'm going to have for kind of like my snack in between meetings. So how I put myself in a good position to succeed in my position as a cybersecurity analyst is that I am always on time with my meetings. Just to prove to you guys that I'm always on time, I'm gonna randomly call one of my coworkers and let's just see what they say in terms of me always being on time in meetings. So let's give them a call right now. You have to be completely honest. Am I always on time in my meetings?
You are never on time in the meetings, Frank. Like never.
Well, after that, I did a little bit more work. I worked up into the lunch hour break. I believe I went over to the fridge and I noticed I didn't have much great food options for lunch. I think I saw my options were craft dinner or instant ramen, and it's not going to cut it, at least for me. So I went over to the store to see what else was there. This is me en route to the store to figure out what I want to get for lunch. And the great thing about this grocery store is that they have a bunch of pre-packaged lunches or dinners, and it doesn't really matter if you want either or. But I know some of you might be thinking,
oh, but Frank, isn't pre-packaged food so unhealthy? Shouldn't you be cooking at home?
But to that, I'll say anything you see so far is better than anything I can definitely whip in my kitchen. So I'm going to go with this option when I have nothing better or I don't have time. So this is me heading over to the self-checkouts to pay for the items, and I end up using my Apple Watch to pay for everything. So there you go, click, click, and there's a receipt. so I made it back from the store and I bought two things. I bought a egg salad sandwich that was $4 if I remember correctly. Yep, $4 over here. And then alongside I got a chicken Caesar wrap. Cheers to the chicken Caesar wrap. All right, first bite, here we go. As I get older, I kind of realize that, you know, it's kind of difficult to kind of make a, like a side hobby, kind of like even my YouTube. So, I mean, bless everyone that's watching my YouTube channel, but, you know, it's difficult to see it being like a full-time basis. I mean, that would be the ultimate dream of having YouTube be kind of like my full main income, but I also realize the reality of things that the odds aren't really in my favor in that sense. But also keep in mind, with that, kind of gives me that flexibility of not being so pressurized of making content every single week. Like, I will do this on my own basis, but I don't really have that pressure in terms of like, will it put food on my table, if that makes sense. It's now 1 p.m. I still have about 2.5 hours to 3 hours left remaining in the workday. I do have a meeting at around 1:30 to 2 o'clock, so that's a half-hour break. And then I think the rest of the day, I'm gonna probably just catch up on some other emails before shutting it off for the weekend. Alright guys, the workday is now done. It's now 3:30. I'm gonna now head over to the gym. I'm gonna go for a swim. I'm debating right now whether I should go home and eat dinner or should I meet up with my friend and have dinner.
Just to get by. Keep them chased by my bed just to get high. Can't entertain it if it ain't a good time. Y'all need to start explaining it a good vibe. And I can count all the times it was all fine, but really you just put your pain in a disguise. Gucci glasses, I can never turn a blind eye. Drink tequila by the liter like it's red wine. Yeah, mix uppers with some downers. I know your heart is heavy. I can't remember when you.
Swimming is a new activity that I'm trying to embed into my routine. I clearly do not go every single day, but I try to go as much as I can per week. Here's me doing front crawls at 4 times the speed, and if I had to be honest, I did it at 1 time speed and it went way too slow. So unless you guys want to see a turtle swim, I'd rather speed it up. And then usually after, I head over to the sauna to dry myself up over here. Man, it just feels nice to always go swimming. I usually go anywhere between half an hour to an hour. Just swimming, doing front crawls back and forth. Right now, I'm gonna head back home, probably shower up, clean up a little bit, and then we'll figure out what we want to do for dinner. On my way home, I was debating whether or not I should grab dinner with my friends or should I cook food at home. And this time around, I justified by saying, you know what, maybe the content-wise, it'll be better if I ended up going downtown. So here's a footage of CN Tower before meeting up my friends to grab some ramen over here. Now, one thing that I've definitely noticed, even while editing this video, is that I'm a lot more happier living in Toronto than any other Canadian city, whether that is Calgary or Winnipeg, or at least at this point in my life. And I think it just has to do with the fact that I knew that working from home, when I turn off that laptop, I knew that Toronto was a city where I'd have a lot more things to do and a lot more places to try out, for example. So that's pretty much it for a day in the life as a cybersecurity analyst. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and following my millennial journey. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when I make my next video. And I guess I'll see you guys all in my next video.